this is Pigsy doing another video. Let's get the air sorted for the filming. So, there's a few things, maybe, I don't want to get too involved in MGTOW, but it is sometimes worth talking about it. Really, it's a tool where it's like men going their own way. It's just a tool where men pull back from relationships, engaging in I guess, relationships with women that are probably more emotional. Maybe, I don't know about friendships though. I mean, if you said if you just pulled away, which I guess is the fear of getting hurt stems from, or having been hurt in some nasty way. And it works both ways for both genders, really. As you say, MGTOW as well, it's just sort of women doing their own thing. And that might happen because for all sorts of experiences, you know, their partner might have changed, they might have gone through a lot. Maybe they become an alcoholic, and they was under a lot of stress and abuse, and they've got kind of emotionally damaged by that process and need some healing time. And I don't want to. The mistake is, if you're going to start dating, date when you're in a high place than a low place. If you date in a low place, you tend to just date people that reflect how you feel, and you might just start dating people that you think they've got empathy over your situation, when actually they're adding to your chaos. Which you don't want. So you want to be in a high place, and also you've got to be aiming high. Where are you going with this type of relationship? If you're looking for one, what's happening? But at the moment, you've got to sort of focus on yourself. If you've got MGTOW, or you're doing your own thing, and develop yourself. Give yourself skills you didn't have before. Arm yourself psychologically with things. Don't want to be too entrenched. You know, people do things without thinking, like flirting and stuff, because they're going with their feelings. And you don't want to be sort of like, oh well, you're only doing it to try to manipulate me. Of course, I'm flirting. That's how it works. I mean, then don't obviously be too sort of upset about it, you know. And don't also over-assume things. It's very easily done. I think it's just if you want to gain leverage, you've got to have something that you bring to the table that gives you that edge as an individual, and you just work natural human survival, I guess. You know, you can use your sexuality to gain leverage over somebody, or you can use brutality or something, you know, or whatever skill set you've got there, you can use. So that's quite normal. But I think the main thing is use it as personal development time. You take a year out, maybe you want to get yourself educated, maybe you're going for a higher position in a company, and you need to go for a period of time where you're sorting stuff out. And also, for the other thing is people that are paying out the nose child maintenance. Now, you might want relationships, but you might not want anything too serious, because the problem is you're faced with, is that most women, well, they're not going to be sort of happy if you're paying out loads of money on your children, not you're earning loads. It kind of is an anchor, basically, and it holds you back. It cripples men, I think, relationship-wise, because he's not going to want to rush to have more children with somebody else, and then for every child he's paying 10% of his salary towards them, which they're worth it, obviously, but he's set himself up so he's not really got any social life. Anytime he's going to enjoy himself when he's retired and his kids are all grown up. And there will be a time when it flips around, so the thing I think I mentioned before, maybe I'll delete that video, you could be kind of like socially crippled. Go on, let's go flying out. And the reverse happens when you become more vulnerable. Your children there should be there to support you and help you. It doesn't always work, and that can also be a problem, because families don't operate the same way they do. Used to, anyway. Depends what values you put in there. And that's why kids are groomed. Kids are groomed into roles, so that when you're older there's a level of compliancy there. Only problem is that are you weakening their natural traits as a person? Like, you know, if you're making them more submissive, then when they go out in the wide world and they start mixing and mingling, they might carry them and be easily taken advantage of. Or you're teaching them certain values whereby, you know, you can help people. You don't have to help them all the time, or you can make clear decisions, or if you're not very good around conflict, giving them a skill set, or even as a parent, just say, right, okay then, I disagree with you. This is going to be like an exercise, and then you just basically it becomes this kind of like scenario gameplay where you maybe challenge your child on something, and you get into that debate. There's other areas. Children should never abuse adults, and really adults shouldn't abuse children. But what might happen is that if you're in a situation where they step outside the line, you need to set back the boundary. And it's the same for pets. I wouldn't let a pet bite me, so if I would let my child, say, hit me or something, or be quite abusive to me, you just have to put a system in place that works. I mean, it was all tough love when I was younger, and physical discipline was made, which didn't help at all. Actually, it helped to create more issues. You know, you say, somebody you care and loves you, like your mother hits you with a bloody wooden spoon or something as a little boy, you get a kind of weird mixed messages. You get a message that women can really hurt you if they want to, and then it's kind of messes your head up, really, make you less trusting. Oh, it's raining. So yeah, it's just a thing on MGTOW. Like I say, it should be a short-term tool. If it becomes a long-term issue, then you should probably seek out some sort of help outside the box, because you shouldn't be all bitter and twisted over relationships. You should just blame yourself because you were naive, basically. You never did any prep work before you got involved. You wouldn't say jump and do a sport that you didn't know anything about, like you wouldn't just like kickboxing, jump in the ring or something, because you would expect to get hurt at some level. And you also would have a filtered view of the relationship, like the other person will. They might have seen you as charming, you might have seen them as sexually very attractive. There's obviously a different viewpoints from there that will create that bit of friction. They might have seen a long-term partner, you might have seen a short-term. Sort of, it was nice hanging out with them and it felt fun and you enjoyed the time with them. But it's actually a bit more different in their eyes. So there's lots of stuff to do in MGTOW out there, and I think it's important though to get it balanced. It's probably quite sad if you've got men that are kind of you have to be polarised to the point where you have to be the extremes. It can't be this sort of grey area, and that's where you need to be, in that grey area. And then when it's right, and also don't be stuck in chasing women locally if you're a bloke. There's a whole frigging world out there, or same for women. There's different cultures, there's different people, types of people. I mean, that's probably the best strategy. Date someone completely different to the last person. Don't try to look for somebody similar with less faults or something. Otherwise, you're just making a Mark II of the last boyfriend or girlfriend. And let's do some other stuff. OMAD. So, still doing my OMAD. At the moment, I can feel an OMAD hunger, which is different. So you kind of feel it empty, like you could eat. Your body's saying you can eat if you want. And it's not like you're starving and you've got to need something like your shakes or, your stomach's, it's not even rumbling, to be honest. My stomach hasn't rumbled for a while, it's gone gurgling. So it wants food, but it hasn't, I've denied it food at the moment. And I've also got to look at my lifestyle. So it works for some people to eat in the morning, because maybe they're blasting weights in the evening, I don't know, or whatever they're doing. But if you work heavier in the evening, and you've got a break in around lunchtime, you might want to put your eating bit there where the food is, before you get too physically involved in the other jobs. Or if there's a lot of mental work, if you've got to do a lot of mental work, you might want to keep your brain sharp, because that's probably what the areas that suffer. Your thinking won't be so straight and other things. I've been quite tired at the moment as well, because I've been working quite crazily. Another issue to look out for is cold baths. I've had cold baths, and what I've noticed though is that I've adapted, so underwater my brain's not kind of getting dizzy or anything like that. But the only issue I have suffered from is I've noticed like lightheadedness and dizziness, and just like lightheaded getting up, and it's like whoa, blood pressure. Now that could be to do with training the vascular system, because what happens is it's got to adapt to deal with the cold. So it would probably increase blood pressure, and your body temperature goes up, thermostat goes up to cope with it, and all sorts of things. And so it could restrict blood vessels on the outside of your body while increasing them on the inside, and possibly when you're outside of the cold and you're normalised to whatever normal temperature is, your body may be in a kind of, it easily suffers from low blood pressure, so that may be something. And also weight loss. If you lose, I lost two stone in 2 months, and then sort of like a half, and then it just sort of dragged on. And I'm kind of at my base weight. I could push beyond that, but I've really, if I wanted to do some sort of fasting, I think I'd want to take time off work, because working and fasting, it's just because I'm driving around and other things, I don't want to, or dealing with clients, I might end up making a cock up and giving the wrong medication or something, But OMAD works well with me. There's always going to be something that works with you or for you. It might be intermittent fasting. It may be that you do OMAD one day. It could be that you're off for a few days. I work every day, so I don't have that luxury. But then that could be your fasting window, or it could be that you sort of do it every fortnight. So maybe one week near payday, you go out and have a drink and have a laugh with your friends, and then outside of that, you're doing a fasting thing where you sort of chill out. So you can set it all up how you want. It's difficult, but mentally it's always going to be a reward. And so I might want to push myself a little bit in the fasting. I don't know at the moment. I've got a base weight seems to be 16 and a half, and it stayed that way. But I feel slimmer, and I don't feel an issue. It's a case now, kind of, because the OMAD is a biohack, so the next level would be to do something like physically train the body and then bring it up past its comfort zone, so that you can foster, it has to create a new level. It has to adapt at a higher level, so that's really what it is. Like the other thing, like the Will Hoff method of he's a bloke who does the ice baths and all sorts. The breathing might be good for me, so the next biohack should be, can I hold my breath for, longer than a certain time, and just sort of go beyond that. And some people say it's easy, just practice, but it's not actually. You just hold your breath. You hold your breath and you think, can I do it for that long? You need to breathe again. But if I can do it for longer, it also means greater oxygenation in the blood, and also getting better sort of breathing exercises in there, and maybe some other things I need to look at, like maybe some redevelopment work in my body, and sort of the idea looking for different biohacks. And I mentioned about things before, the psychology, you can do biohacks, and I mentioned about stuff like MGTOW and emotional states and strengthening. It's a bit like I've got this love letter from someone. It seems nice, but I'm looking at all the psychological tricks in that letter, so I'm getting quite wise and not just sort of reading it, because everything go under the radar, like your name's mentioned 4 times in there, that they might stop. One letter before was like, oh dear friend, and then now this one's like my dear, and it's changed the context. But what I do is I keep to the friend zone and see how that affects the other person, because they've said it's okay to be a friend, and now they're seeing how far I leap forward. And doing other things, mental things, like do you believe in love at first sight, and all these other things that mess you up here. I would say, well, I believe chemically, I believe that you can have a strong attraction to someone, but I think true love actually requires you to meet somebody and spend some time with them and to develop it. I think what it could be is like maybe like a pseudo love. It's not. It's real in one level. It makes you feel that way, but it hasn't got the experience. It hasn't matured. And then I might use references like, it's a bit like grapes taste nice, but if they're sort of matured into a fine wine, it takes time to get to that point, and then you can enjoy that with that person. Because we talked about, I would loop in something else you'd mentioned about a romantic meal, and then the other thing is, because I've got a lot of what I know about psychology and hypnotherapy and stuff like that. She doesn't know that, and I just simply not string along, but I will see how much she falls in love with me, and I'll be the one that's holding back. To be honest, I would only if I met somebody, because I'd need to, the boundaries are, I need to check that they actually have strong feelings for me, and also that I feel the same for them, because when you're kind of closed guarded a bit your heart, you don't really want to go that far with somebody. You feel, I'm just going to hold back now. And that's healthy, I think. That's a healthy thing. And also looking at the psychology that might have been to make, it's testing. Somebody cares about you, but they're having a conflict in their head, and then they want to see, how does he feel about me, or how does she feel about me? It could be men would go around about it a different way, to be honest. they might check you with humour or something. Women might do, or they might actually just, see if they can rile you or knock you off balance or confuse you. You say one thing, say another, and then, but they go, right, I told you to do this, and you're like, but you did say something different, It's like, hang on, right, and then it's that's a test of leadership. Say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do that. That works. It makes sense. Let's do that. Blast them with logic, and they'll be like, wow, he's got it down. The qualities that somebody finds attractive, you want to emulate that, and not necessarily emulate. You want to be that, and you want to be yourself, and you want the I, because when you get swept up with the right side of your brain, all this love and feelings, and we and us and stuff, it seduces the other part of your brain, and so you stop having clarity, and so you want to keep that clarity. And if you start losing clarity, just take some time away from that relationship, and then process, because emotional stuff's really hard, especially if you're chemically bombarded by feel-good hormones and all sorts of things to get, look at the person, where's it going, what do they want. If you had a bad experience, then just avoid setting up the same situation. I mean, there are women that don't want children out there, so if it's a case of you had children and then it went wrong and she won't let you see the kids and then you're being punished and tortured by her and all sorts of things emotionally, she's playing games with you because she gets off on it, and that's basically the bloke went with a narcissistic woman and didn't realise at the time, and now he stepped away from her or she got rid of him. She's punishing because it makes her feel good, but then when she sees it doesn't have an impact, then you kind of basically it hurts her not to have that influence over you. So it's a double-edged sword if you start playing mind games with people, because then it starts cutting back at them mentally. Anyway, this is Pixie signing off, and have a great day.